Okay, I think we are live. Looks like maybe we're live. Go ahead and type in the chat if you're tuning in, if you're with us today. Where are you watching from today? That's the only way that I really know that we're live. If you're new, let us know that you're new. Type hashtag new. If you've never met me before, I'm Scott Showalter. I'm an Agile coach that coaches other Agile coaches how to grow their consultancy or start a new one if that's your thing, right? And the goal here and the reason why I do this is because I want to help people achieve not just financial freedom, but also time freedom by charging $250 an hour, which there's a trick to it. There's a lot of tricks to it, and I'm here to show you some of those tricks today. So, again, if you're live and you're seeing this, please go ahead and type in the chat so that I know that you're here. Where are you watching from today? Probably going to be a quick one today. I'm not seeing who all do we have watching today? I'm not seeing anyone. Am I even live? By the way, if you are new to this channel, we do ask that you subscribe to the channel in order to be able to comment because we intend to drop a lot of value here and we want to make sure that you're tuning in, that you're watching, that you're seeing what we're putting out. So, hey Renee from San Francisco, what an excellent city. Well, isn't that a bank out there, SVB, Silicon Valley Bank? Yeah. Well, that was a debacle this week, huh? And then I guess there's a couple other ones that collapsed. Signature Bank. Anyone affected by that? Type an S in the chat if you've been affected. If you haven't been affected, type a G in the chat meaning you're good. So I want to know, are you safe? Are you affected or are you safe? Renee's good to go. Okay, excellent. All right, is it just you, Renee? Is there anyone else? Because if there's no one else, we can save this episode. Does anyone else want to know how to overcome the price objection when you're selling your services for really high value? Put an H in the chat if you want to learn. If you want to learn these valuable skills. Because we don't have to. We can keep getting the price objection and not knowing how to handle it and kind of stay where we're at income-wise. I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you want to do? What do you want to learn today? I will say if you are new to this game, if you're like a scrum master, this probably isn't going to be useful for you. But everything in life is selling, right? Hey Mona, good to see you. Yeah, don't text and drive. But everything in life is selling, and everything in life there's going to be these price objections, or what's really is they don't see the value in what it is that you're offering. All right, and if you are joining us, I want to kind of do a poll here. If you have a consultancy currently, are you using a sales team? Type in ST in the chat if you're using a sales team. And if you're doing all the selling yourself, type in M for me. I do it all myself. So ST for sales team if you have a sales team doing the selling, or M if you are doing all the selling yourself. STM, I guess, if you have a sales team but you also help them out. That way I know how to customize this content for you, because without that, right, it's going to be hard to help you in the best way that I can. And I'm here to help you in the best way that I can. Or is it just me and Renee and Mona over here? Where is everyone today? Renee, how many people we got watching today? Three people. Well, I guess it's just the three of us then. Okay. Cool. Well, no issues there. We'll get right to it then. So, it's going to be a quick one then, folks. Um, what I want to introduce you to is uh, like how to value your services higher as an agile consultancy, an agile coaching consultancy. It doesn't have to be agile coaching specific. Really, your goal here and my aim for you is to build a consultancy where you're coaching other businesses on some type of improvement process, right? Um, it could be technical coaching, it could be process coaching, it could be product coaching, which is a thing. And I know that a lot of the world right now is going in that product coaching direction, right? So it's a great time to jump on not necessarily the bandwagon, but follow the trends, right? But at the same time, if you're doing that, you're competing with everyone else who's going in that same direction. So you have to distinguish yourself, right? I hear a lot of you in the LinkedIn community here talking about your hopes and dreams and also the challenges when it comes to taking your consultancy to the next level. That's why I want to share with you exactly how to present this so that you're overcoming the price objection or that you don't even get it in the first place. So here's the thing, like I hate the term selling, right? But at the end of the day, everything in life is influence. So selling is influence, right? If you're trying to get buy-in, then yes, you're selling. So don't get hung up on the word selling, no matter how much you hate it, it's still a requirement. It's still a valuable skill in the modern era. But today's buyers are a lot more sophisticated. So you've probably heard people in the past say selling is a numbers game. No, it does not have to be a numbers game. What it is about playing the game right. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you three keys to selling any service for any price, right? No matter what it is. The reason I'm talking about this is because, like I said, in today's competitive market, you need to be able to stand out and close more deals, right? I want you to be at the level that I'm capable of, which is 100% close rate. Well, really like 95%, because 5% just won't buy. Everyone else is a buyer, but it's a process of one, overcoming those objections. And what's the best way to overcome those objections? By not getting those objections in the first place. So if you're not getting the prospect bought into how, what it's costing them is actually way more than what you're asking, you're gonna have a hard time closing the deal, right? It should be effortless, it should be easy. It should be a no-brainer that what you currently might perceive as a really high price, or the prospect might perceive as a really high price, is actually really low compared to what it's costing them. So, before we dive into the specifics, let's talk about three keys to selling any service for any price. What are those three C's? That's what I call them, the three C's: congruency, conviction, and confidence. All right, so if you're taking notes, write that down. If you're Mona, please don't take notes. But by the way, I can give you the replay this week. So if you want, just text me on LinkedIn. I'll send you the replay. But basically, congruency means everything is in alignment and there's no internal conflict, right? You need to be in complete alignment with your product or service and your messaging and all the actions that you're taking. Hopefully, those actions are income generating activity, because there's three types of activity. Income generating activity, you're currently actively generating income with what you're doing. Future income generating activity, things that may not produce income in the near future, but further out in the future. And not non-revenue generating activity, right? Most of where people hang out, 90% of people hang out 90% of the time in the not generating non-income generating activity areas, right? These include all the things that you don't need to have in order to grow your consultancy, including making a website or improving a website. You don't need any of that. Creating documents to try to pitch people your service. You don't need any of that. Here's what's going to happen if you do start sending out like documents or mailers or promotional material. You're going to create what's called sales resistance because you're trying to pitch someone before you even know if they're right for you to pitch. Yes, there are times when you should not pitch a client because you haven't done the proper due diligence of figuring out just what their problem is so that you can pitch them a solution that is aligned, it's congruent with what they need. Cool. So the second C, conviction. Conviction means that you truly believe in what you're selling. You need to have complete confidence that what you're offering is going to benefit the customer. And if you don't believe it, no one else will either, because that conviction transfers, but that lack of conviction also transfers. So if you're lacking conviction, you have to overcome that. You have to be convicted at your core that what you do is excellent, worth it, worth the investment. Make sense? Type it in the chat if you're tracking, meaning you're aligned with what I'm saying. Cool. Confidence. That's the third C, confidence. And this is really key, right? You need to be confident in yourself and your abilities to have the conversation. And yes, to sell. Now, I don't typically teach how to sell, I teach how to coach the prospect into selling themselves because no one wants to be sold. No one wants to be sold anything, but they love to buy. We don't want to be sold, but we love buying. We go out on a shopping spree or on Amazon. We love that. Love it. So they love to buy, they just don't want to be sold. So this is about asking the right questions that lead prospects to convince themselves that your solution is right for them, right? So you need to be confident in your ability to do that, to ask the right questions at the right time, and when it makes sense to deviate from the questions, and when it makes sense to circle back into the core of, whatever questioning framework you're using. And part of this is investing. Like if you don't invest in yourself at a high level, no one else is going to invest in you at a high level. That could be, you know, putting money into ads to grow and increase the amount of leads that you are producing. Investing in, teams that can help you grow your consultancy with you, right? So invest in yourself, believe in yourself, and you will go far. So let's take a look at Deloitte, right? They're a company that earns 50 billion a year in revenue. Do they have the best service? The best product? No. In fact, you probably hear people say it all the time, they suck. Their words, not mine. Maybe. But what they do have is they have congruency, conviction, and confidence. They believe in what they're selling and they're confident in their ability to sell it. Now let's talk about a common mistake that people make when they're selling their services. This may include you, right? Of course, the first mistake is not having a clear customized plan in place, right? Growing a business is hard, and without a clear plan, it becomes incredibly complex, which leads to things like procrastination, self-doubt, all the things that lower your conviction and lower your confidence. So the quick fix there is just to have a step-by-step plan of action, um, specifically crafted for what your offer is. The other thing is that aside from asking the wrong questions at the wrong time, they aren't asking questions that get the prospect to open up about what it's actually costing them so that they see your high price is actually quite low comparatively to if things stay the same. Because listen, if things don't change, nothing's going to change. Make sense? Everyone still with me? Type 1 in the chat if you still with me. Any questions before I head out? And I offer one more mistake that I see people making as they're trying to grow their consultancy is that they're not surrounding themselves with other successful people. If you don't believe growing your income in less time is possible, it's not because it's not possible, but it is when you're surrounding yourself with the right people who, one, believe that it is possible, two, are going out and taking action consistently, daily, to go and bring their numbers up. Make sense? Cool, cool. All right. Well, there you have it. That's the three keys to selling any service for any price, right? What are they? Congruency, conviction, and confidence. And remember this, the person who can pay the most to acquire a customer wins. So invest in yourself, believe in yourself, and if you want to take your coaching business to the next level, it's time to take control of your time, your income, and your destiny. So if that's you, I'm opening up my calendar just to two of you. So if you're watching the replay, you'll see a link to book down below if you qualify. And if you're on the live now, what you can do is you can type me. You can go find me on LinkedIn if you haven't already, and you can type in one of the three C's in all caps: congruency, conviction, or confidence. Which one do you want more of or feel you need more of? Just type it out in all caps. Yes, we're going to internet yell it at me. Um, if you qualify. What I'm looking for is I'm looking to do a sales audit. So if you have like recorded calls, we'll come in and we'll do an audit. We'll audit. I'll actually review one of your calls and see where we can make improvements. This is completely complimentary. I'm just doing this for two people. You have to have recorded calls. And if you don't, keep tuning into this live show. Remember, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you haven't already. Um, and, if you want to just continue the conversation in LinkedIn, reach out, find me on LinkedIn and continue the conversation, and we'll go from there. All right, well, I'm going to take off. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Catch you next time. I think next week's topic is how to book 10 to 20 appointments. So you don't want to miss it. So make sure you're subscribing. All right, take care, friends. Peace.